Hey everyone, welcome to our Preps on 11 Web Extra. Tyler Cash joined as always by Nate Olson. We're firmly into the second half of the season now. You can start calling it the playoff run, as crazy as it is, and it feels a little more like football outside.
It really does. We talk about it, you wait and it gets here, it's like Christmas and it's over. We've got some real savory matchups coming up in the next couple of weeks that when you look ahead at the schedule are going to be really good. And we'll take a look at a couple this week, but it's just going to heat up a little more and more as we get into week 10 and get into the playoffs.
We'll start with a matchup that, maybe to start the season probably looked a little better than it is now, but still, at least from a coaching standpoint, it's pretty interesting, and that's Robinson at Maumelle.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're talking about it, because Brian Maupin, he was really one of the key parts of Robinson's success. Coach Escola, Todd Escola, has been there a long time and done a really great job. And Maupin was, kind of his right-hand guy there. If you were in the media, you dealt with him a lot. You can attest to that. He was a good spokesperson for the program.
Yeah, because he likes to talk and Todd doesn't as much.
Yeah, but it worked. And he's a good D coordinator, and he's one of those guys that leads with emotion. And Todd Escola is a little reserved, so they were a good team. And then Maupin got a chance to go to Maumelle, which I thought was a really great hire for them. I think he was what they needed. And initially, things were going well, and Weston Pierce, their quarterback's been hurt, and things have kind of taken a little bit of a dip. But the thing about him is, I think he's a very good motivator, and his team knows how big of a game this is for him. When you play your boss, you're a friend. I mean, it's your former boss and your friend. I mean, you want to do well in that game. And I think that's something that they probably had circled the whole year and probably hoped it was a little bit more at stake now. But there is a lot of pride at stake for him. And he wants to do well, and I think they'll play well. The thing is that Robinson is very deep and very talented, and Noah Freeman is an outstanding running back that's really burst on the scene. We saw him week 1 against PA, had a good game. Quentin Murphy is a Division I quarterback as a sophomore, so they're going to have their work cut out for them. And we really think that Robinson is a team that could get back to the state championship again. And this time, last year was 4A, and this time was 5A. And ironically enough, Shiloh Christian's got a shot to get there too, and that was the 4A. So that would be something else if those teams managed to. I think the chances of them playing each other would be really good. It's just a matter of it'll be where it will be in the bracket.
Right,
but,
the semifinal game is potentially the final.
But that says a lot about both of their programs. But Todd Escola doing a great job. He's got a ton of talent. I think that's what kind of will separate them. Even though they were moving from 4A to 5A, I feel like they do have good numbers and they've got a lot of talent there, which matches up good with a lot of 5A rosters.
All right, let's go up to the big school. 7A, kind of a week with a lot of matchups that we might not expect to be the best, but there is one that definitely stands out. Conway and Cabot, two teams kind of with their sights set on its semifinals and beyond in the playoffs.
Yes, and Cabot, you've got to tip your cap to the coaching staff there and Coach Reed. I mean, I wasn't sure how good they were going to be this year.
They lost so much.
They lost a lot, and if you remember, didn't quite meet the expectations that a lot of people thought, including Coach Reed and the staff. And I think that was maybe a little bit of a rallying cry in the offseason, like, hey, we got to step it up this year. Last year we didn't play as well as we wanted, and they really have played well. I mean, you got a win over Fayetteville under your belt. The only loss is to Ruston, Louisiana at the Horn on a field goal. So they have exceeded what I thought they would do. Now you're playing one of those real big games again. And if you go back to last year when they played at Conway, we built that game up, and then Conway decimated them. So you're playing at Cabot. I know Tom Brandon, the home of Tom Brandon, he'll be riled up for this game, but a lot of people will be, your meteorologist, but a lot of people will be excited about this in Cabot. It'll be a huge crowd. And so I think that gives them a little bit of a lift. Abe Owens, a good quarterback, and the defense of the front seven is very physical. The problem is, I think they can keep the game close. The problem is that Conway is just playing out of this world offensively. Donovan Amolo is a junior quarterback. He was great as a sophomore. He was SB Live Sophomore of the Year. He is, right now, you talk about 3 or 4 guys that are leaders in the clubhouse for Player of the Year. He's in the mix as a junior. He's having a great season. So I think that's going to be a concern for Cabot, is that he is so good. It hasn't hardly made any mistakes. You've got to make him make some mistakes. You've got to put the pressure on him. And when you get in the backfield, you can't let him go. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is like 3rd and 12, and then he runs for a 14-yard gain on a busted play. He's capable of doing it. So you have to stay at home, but you've got to apply that pressure to him. And when you get him in a situation on 3rd and long, you've got to stop him there. So that's a big key. But I think right now, Conway is playing as good as anybody, and there are some people that are banging on the door saying that they should be ranked over Bryant as the #1 team in the state, and we haven't heard that for a while. They have been more impressive so far than Bryant, I think you'd have to say, on paper and just looking at the way they've played the game. So they will come to Cabot ready to play, and it's going to be up to Cabot where they can make that a game into the 4th quarter.
All right, now on to our showcase game of the week, a game that before the season, who knows how many would have had circled, but now 2 programs that have kind of surprised to this point. It's Pine Bluff at Mills.
I thought Mills could be good. I didn't know if they'd be undefeated at this point, but Cortez Lee, I've known him a long time. He's one of the only coaches that I know that, he's won a state championship in basketball too. He was a basketball state champion, and he was a football coach, and he hasn't quite won a state title yet, but he's been on some good staffs and he's had some good teams. But that's an interesting note about him, that he coached basketball for a year. But he has a winning attitude at Mills. And last year, we saw them against Lone Oak midway through the year in October. It was a big game, and Jabre Shaw was come up lame and didn't play well, and then the season kind of hit a tailspin. Well, you fast forward to this year, he is fully healthy, and he is another one of those guys that you put on that short list of player of the year right now, because he's not only doing it on offense, but he's doing it on defense. We talked about before we went on the air, 3 interceptions in the game. Last week he returned one for a touchdown. He's returned another one for a touchdown. He is dynamic. He is balling out this year, really having a great year. So I think that he has lifted his game, and being healthy, that's helped them. And then you've got Achilles Ringo at quarterback and some other talented skill guys. So they're doing what they probably could have done last year if he had been healthy. Then when you look at the flip side, so it doesn't surprise me a lot that they're good, because I thought they had potential. But Pine Bluff, I did not think, because you've got a new coach, pretty much an entirely new coaching staff. And Michael Williams is a Pine Bluff alum that came from Texas. And what he wanted to do, first of all, was to make sure that all the guys in his program were representing the school and the community well, change some things off the field, and bring some discipline to the program. And that was the first thing that he wanted to do. He did that, and when you looked at his roster, say, man, there's some talented players on here that have played some, but maybe not a lot of them. But he has made it work. They don't have a lot of depth, but Courtney Crutchfield's another guy that plays both ways. He's probably a Division I basketball player. We'll find out a little more about that this winter, but he was really good last year for them. But he's playing receiver and DB, kind of like Shaw. He's making plays everywhere. So it's going to be really interesting to see those two guys go after each other. But what Williams has done is no short of a miracle. I mean, I don't know where the rest of the season will go, but the fact that we're talking about him and it's a game of the week, that's a big testament to him, the staff, and the kids that have bought in. Pine Bluff always has talent. It's just a matter of how much they have and just getting it on the same page. And now they've got a guy that can do that, and you can see the results on the field.
All right, and we'll see all those results on the field on Friday, along with all the highlights coming your way on the Friday Night Blitz.